What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jordan and today we're going to be continuing to diagnose the problems with the hazards and the blinkers in the Datsun 280z. Today we're going to be taking apart the hazard switch and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. So stick around. If you've seen the previous episodes, in the past we have replaced all of the turn signals with LEDs. We replaced all of the flasher relays with relays that are compatible with LED turn signals. We also took off the indicator switch, cleaned all the electrical connections, and it seems to be working perfectly fine. But the hazard switch was giving us some issues last time. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that clip right now. All right, so we get one. Oh, now I get both. Okay, so something's fixed. There's something wrong with this. Sometimes when I turn on the hazards, I get one blinker going. Sometimes I get both, sometimes I get nothing. So clearly there's something wrong with this. So I want to tear this apart and see if I can figure out if there's anything visibly that I can tell is wrong with it and we can fix it. You know, this thing's already broken, so worst case scenario, I just buy another one. But if I can fix this one, great. So let's get into it. Upon visual inspection, everything seems to be pretty normal with this guy. If you look in the plug, it seems they didn't use all of the terminal holes, but there's no missing wires, and I don't see anything disconnected from this end. So I just want to assume that that open space right there is supposed to be there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew these screws and see if we can open it up a little bit. Wow, this thing literally just fell apart. So super brittle. I barely even put any pressure on this thing. We're just going to remove the little LED. That's the backlight for the green hazard part right here. And then we'll see if we can remove this circuit board. Oh, check that out. That's why it's not working. Look at all that corrosion. That's awful. All right, so I'm just going to give a brief explanation of how this works. So basically, you've got this little switch here, which has a thing that helps move this teeter-totter back and forth. And you can see how the teeter-totter switch moves back and forth between two circuits, and it needs a specialized circuit for the hazards to work because it needs to override the turn signals. So basically in the off position, it's on the turn signal circuit, which it's these two leads here that go through to these wires down here. But then when you turn the hazards on, it switches to another circuit that lets you override the turn signals and just flash the hazards. So because this is all gummed up and this is all rusted, I'm not sure if these parts are even good anymore, but I'm going to try and clean them up and also try and clean up this connection, which is really gross as well, and see if maybe that will solve our problem. But this thing might be toast and I might have to replace it. But at least now we have generally an idea of how it works, which is pretty cool. After the initial spray down, it's already looking a whole lot better, but I want to do a little bit more. So there's these little posts here that hold in the teeter-totter. So you just got to undo one of them, work it loose, and then we can always bend that part back to snap it back into place. But you can see how dirty all that is. Now I'm going to try and do my best to restore this to its former glory, and I'm just going to use some 1500 sandpaper and a little bit of patience and see if we can get this thing cleaned up really nice. All right, and so after a little TLC and a little bit of cleaning, you can see the contact patches or the pads are nice and shiny. That's exactly what you want. And now I'm going to do the same thing with these guys. Now that all of our connections are clean, I'm going to go ahead and put this teeter-totter back on. And I'm going to use this guy to kind of bend it back. There you go. It's not coming off. So you just want to double check that the action still works good. And it looks to me like it does. So let's move on to putting it back together. When you're initially taking this apart, you want to be careful not to lose this little tiny spring right here. There's a little spring. That spring goes inside the hole here. Hopefully it's focused on the camera. And then once that's inside that little hole right there, you take this little plastic plunger. This is what moves the teeter-totter. Put the plunger on top of that spring, and basically that spring and that plunger is going to keep it initiated on the blinker circuit until you switch it to the hazard circuit. So making sure that these two things are in place is really important. Then we're going to place this back on top. Remember to put your little plastic cover on top, and then put the remainder of your screws in there. Okay, so I got the hazard switch plugged back in and ready to go, so let's give this a try. Nothing. Alright, let's see if I turn on my... Alright, so it's getting power, and I do believe that it's still good based on cleaning it and everything that we've just done. And the blinkers still do not work. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Once again, we are let down by the blinker and hazard switch gods. So, I don't know. I don't know why mine aren't working. But if you know and you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to do some research trying to figure it out. I still think this tutorial of taking it apart, cleaning it, and inspecting everything that's in there is good for any of you guys that want to fix your hazard switch. I think there's something else going on in my car keeping my hazards from working, so I don't know. I'm going to figure that out, but otherwise, guys, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another channel. Not another channel, another episode.